What's going on? It's Keinan Briggs, sports consultant and mentor. The question was asked, what should my off season look like? I am a 100% track and field athlete. I don't do any other sports. What do I do to make sure that I have the best season ever? The first thing we want to look at is the bigger picture, the macro scale. We have 4 seasons. So if you start in the summer, then you have the fall, then you have the winter, then you have the spring season. Well, typically, if you're using the same muscles over and over again, such as you're sprinting in the summer, you're sprinting in the fall, what's going to happen is you're going to get stronger, you're going to get faster. But on the flip side of that is the muscles that are used are going to get stronger and the muscles that aren't are going to get weaker, creating an imbalance. So when you have that imbalance, you're now susceptible to hamstring injuries and much more. And we don't want that. So what I have my athletes do is we really focus on deconstructing everything every single year. In the summer, the main focus is muscular endurance. We're doing lunges, we're doing squats, we're doing calf raises. We're working on all the muscles that are helping us move, but we're also really focusing on opening the hips and increasing our range of motion and flexibility. It's all about having the athlete really improve their time under tension. What time under tension means is when you're working out, our goal is to increase the time under tension, increase your range of motion, and wake up all the muscles you haven't been using in a long time. The next suggestion is going into your cardiovascular endurance, increasing the strength of your heart and how much wind your body can take, and this your effectiveness of your body while it's doing things under tension. So you're going to increase the tempo slightly by having yourself run. We typically do 6 400s. It is not timed. So if you run slower, that's great. Your time under tension is going to increase. If you run faster, that's also great. You're going to produce more power output, but you're also going to be using more energy. So either way, it's a win-win situation. Recommended is just run as fast as you need to, depending on whatever your goals are. If you want to be one of the best in the state, then it's recommended that you run a little faster. But if you don't have any of those high standards, then you want to compete at whatever level you feel the need. The next cycle of training typically is just introducing your body back into the explosive movements, such as bounding. If you're doing hurdles, maybe it's getting out the blocks and really focusing on reassessing your step to see the strength that you have this year and how it related to last year's strength. Then from there is opening your hips for hurdles. It's really focusing on getting the light impacts, such as bounding. All those things are going to be done on the grass or the turf with your flats on. Most athletes that I have are not on the runway just yet. And if they are on the runway, it's only focusing on the posture and position, but we're still in flats. We have not put spikes on at any of this time. Then once we get to the spring, which is where the spring season is, once the athletes show up to the first day of practice, most programs will be in spikes, most programs will be sprinting and running, but your body is already ready for those things. And then typically 1 to 2 weeks later, after you start just general conditioning training for your team, then season starts, so you're ready to go. A lot of questions I get about this longer duration of training is how many weeks should I be doing this? When should I put on spikes? When it comes down to the quarterly cycle, the biggest focus is you want to advance when your body's ready. But I would say between 4 to 6 weeks allows your body to adapt to your training. Then when it comes to spikes, my biggest thing is you want to wear spikes when you're doing training at in-game speeds. So if I'm working on just position and pop-ups for my long jump, I want to wear my flats. But when I'm really focusing on popping up for distance, for height, if I'm working on my speed, then I want to put on my actual spikes. If I'm doing hurdles, I want to put spikes on as I'm going over the hurdles doing my drills. But as I'm just warming up doing hurdle mobility, I want to have my flats on. The biggest thing is you want to have your flats on as long as possible, because that will keep your impacts overall on the macro scale less. There are a lot of athletes out there that understand the concept of off-season training, but they just need the guidance to make sure that what they're doing is right. Well, I'm here for your support. If you have any further questions, please let me know in the comment box below. Until then, I'll see you next time.